thanks for being here and coming to my channel. If you do want to get updates whenever I have a new class on, then why not just subscribe, and then as soon as I post something you will get a notification. So always a good thing to think about too, and thank you. So today we're going to do a little practice just with building up a bit of heat and then going and slowing down and cooling down and taking the awareness more internally as we start that descent from summer into autumn. So just kind of gradually bringing in that a kind of softness and more internal focus that autumn and winter brings to us naturally. So let's start in a nice comfortable seated position, back and neck nice and straight, just to bring ourselves to our practice just for the next few minutes. So letting the shoulders be soft, the chin just in a nice neutral place, so the neck's nice and long, just like you have a string pulling you from the top of the head. Closing your eyes. And just take a few moments to let go of your day or whatever's been going on, and just bring yourselves to this place, to this point in time, as we start to notice our body, letting go of thoughts and connect to the breath. Starting to lengthen the breath as we take longer inhales, longer exhales, just for a few rounds. We soften the body and connect. So just noticing if there's any particular areas of tension that you would like to release. And when you take your next deep full breath in, just try and focus in that place of tension, and then as you exhale, just see if you can relax it out with the breath. We'll do that a few times, just taking a few moments to listen to your body, noticing where the tension might be, and then just softening and relaxing as you exhale. And maybe the tension is in the mind, that thoughts just keep coming in. So again, just letting the thoughts go as you connect to your breath. Let's just take a few moments to do that. Feeling the breath rising up from the belly to the chest as you inhale, and then as you exhale, letting go, relaxing from the chest down towards the belly. So nice full yogic breaths, diaphragmatic breaths, using our diaphragm to its full capacity. And letting go of stress, tension, as we relax. Does the face feel nice and soft and relaxed? No tension in the forehead. Not clenching the jaw, just having a space between the teeth as you relax the jaw. The shoulders and the arms feel relaxed. Spine is long, and the body feels relaxed. The pelvis relaxes, feel those sit bones connected to your mat. Your glutes, legs relax. Let's bring our hands together in front of our heart and take a little bow down to our hands. Maybe just shaking the head from side to side, releasing any tension. And then come back to center. Give our palms a nice brisk rub, bringing warmth and energy to the body, and then placing those hands, that energy over our eyes as we blink back into the light. And we take our hands away as we begin with our greeting of love and peace. Namaste. Thanks for being here. So let's uncross and recross our legs if we are sitting in a cross-legged position, just to realign ourselves, staying with a nice tall spine. We'll just take a little few warm-ups. So right hand to the mat, left one over, and draw that left ear towards the shoulder, and keep rooting that right palm down, creating a nice stretch through the neck. Staying nice and long through the spine, and just relax out that neck. And then come back to center, and we will do the other side. So just switching over, right hand draws the ear to the shoulder, rooting down through that left hand, and relax that neck. And release back to center as the right hand goes down, left one up and over for a nice little side body stretch. Come back to center and to the other side. Again, rooting that opposite hip back down, keeping the chest nice and lifted so we're not falling in. Arm is just over the ear. Let's go for one more round. Up and over, nice long exhale. Always bend that supporting arm if you want to take it deeper. One final time, big breath as we exhale. And then come back to center and roll out those shoulders, any tension in the shoulders. And then in the opposite direction, nice exaggerated movements. And then come back to center. Let's bring the soles of our feet together and just gently butterfly those knees up and down. And relaxing out the pelvis. So just letting any tension in those hips, just loosening them up, letting it go. Good, and then just slowing the movement down as we come to complete stop and come up onto our knees, onto our hands, just for a few rounds of cat-cow as we draw wrists under shoulders, knees hip distance apart, rooting down through the back, through the toes. Inhaling, draw the shoulder blades back, shoulders back, gazing up, tailbone up. Exhaling, rounding up the spine, tucking tailbone in, chin to the chest, rooting down again, opening up the chest, tilting that tailbone up, really drawing that navel down towards the mat. Exhaling, rounding up the spine, chin to the chest, nice big stretch. Maybe loosen the neck from side to side, and let's go for 3 more rounds. In your own time. With your own breath, you can always tuck the toes under as you exhale, give them a stretch, and then place them back down as you inhale, opening up. On to our final round when you get there. Keep rooting through those hands. And when you've finished your round, just come back to that tabletop position, neutral spine. Keep rooting down through your hands, baby finger, thumb. We're going to bring the right foot through between the hands. Left hand stays on the mat as we inhale, right hand up into a little twist. And then release it down to the mat again. And we're going to move backwards and forwards. Just take that left knee slightly back so you get a stretch in the hip flexor. You can adjust your hands just to support you where you need that support. And movement through that knee. And then we'll hold it back in a half split, maybe flexing the feet up, the foot up, and just have your hands wherever it feels comfortable. Try not to collapse into the opposite leg. And take a few breaths through the back of that leg. And then release, coming forward, tucking back toe under, palms on the floor, step back down dog, first down dog of the day, soften the knees, lengthen that spine up. Root down through those hands, flatten out that back. Nice big stretch here. And then bring the knees back down as we bring that left leg through this time. Again, right hand on the mat, left one opens up. Creating some space, coming back down. And then let's adjust that back leg slightly. So nice stretch in the hip flexor. And then stop moving backwards and forwards. Again, move your hands to wherever you need the support. Into a half split we hold as we take ourselves back, flexing the foot, hands adjusting them if you need to. Try not to drop it into the opposite hip. and then release. Bring ourselves forward, stepping through, forward bend, rooting down through the feet, all of the toes, sides of the feet, heels, hands to the shins, lengthen the spine, flat back, and then roll the shoulders, soften the knees, use that core to bring us up all the way to the heart. And let's go for a round of sun salutation just to warm us up. So reaching back as we root down into Madasana, rooting down through the feet, hands are open, we start reaching back, lengthening the spine, and then come through into a forward bend as the right foot goes back, knees on the mat. Let's come into crescent moon as we inhale, gazing up at the fingers, a gentle back bend. And then stepping back into down dog. Let's shift that weight forward as we bring the knees to the mat, bend the elbows, touch down with chest and chin, a little back bend takes the legs back as we lift the chest into a baby cobra, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. Take a step through with that right foot between the hands, left knee comes down, crescent moon as the arms come up, into a forward bend, stepping through. Rooting down through those feet, roll those shoulders, hands come back to the heart. And let's go with the left side, rooting down through the feet, palms opening up, reaching back, gentle back bend into a forward bend. Take that left foot back, knees on the mat, crescent moon, inhaling, gazing up. A gentle back bend as we lift up through the heart, into down dog. A point pose shifts the weight forward, lowers the knees, chest and chin touching down, lengthening back as we lift into a baby or full cobra, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. And then a nice big step through with that left foot. Right knee comes down as we come into crescent moon, into a forward bend. And then coming all the way up, roll the shoulders, hands come back to the heart. Good, and we'll continue on to do just a little spinal flow. So rooting down through the feet, again, really connect down, engage those legs to support us. Interlace fingers, Supine mudra, Fire mudra, as we get the index fingers pointing, touching. And then reaching up as we inhale, soften the shoulders. As the exhale, a little stretch over to the right. And keep rooting down through both feet so you're not collapsing into that opposite hip, that left hip. Come back to center and then to the other side. And come back to center, right angle pose, hinging forward from the hips, lengthening those arms forward. Like we're trying to come into the number 7, soften the knees slightly so you can lengthen that tailbone back, flatten out the back, root down through the feet. Pressing those fingers together, and then take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and close into your forward bend, yoga mudra. Get those arms a little bit further up towards the ceiling as we squeeze those shoulders in towards each other, releasing that neck, maybe a shake for no, a nod for yes. Just releasing the neck, inhaling, coming up for a gentle back bend. So root down through the feet, use the arms to pull you back as we lift up through the chest, draw that navel in, draw the ribs in and open up the chest. And then release. Good. From here, let's let go of those arms. And we're going to come into a high lunge. So right foot steps forward as the left foot goes back. A nice wide stance on the ball of the back foot. A nice bend through that front knee, so it's nicely supported, rooting down through that heel. Taking the arms up, relax the shoulders. Movement's going to just come from the back leg. The front leg is just there to support you. So nice big breath in. As we exhale, lowering the arms and lower the back leg to hover to the mat. And then inhaling again, straighten the back leg. Keep rooting through the bent front leg. 2 more times. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Stretching, back leg down, and the final time down, coming up. And this time when you go down, just hold there for a couple of breaths. Keep rooting down the front leg, pushing into the back foot. Hands come either side, step back, down dog. maybe just walking out the dog. And we'll continue here with the flow. Let's shift the weight forward, bring the knees down, chest scoops all the way through into a baby or full cobra. Keep those shoulders relaxed and glutes, tuck the toes under, back to down dog. And let's take that right foot through again between the hands. And lower, bring the back leg slightly, lower that heel down. So we're in warrior two. Line up heel to heel or heel to instep. As we inhale, bring the left arm up, right arm up, and straight into warrior two. Nice bend through that right leg, through the outside of that left foot, and we reverse it. So right palm faces up, left hand down the leg, and take a little reverse here. Keep rooting down through the front leg. Maybe the back arm, just take it behind your back. Just take a little bit more of a stretch, twist. Good, come back to center, release the arms, straighten that right leg to triangle as we reach and drop. Top hand reaches up, bottom hand down, squaring the chest off. Top shoulder keeping it in its socket so the arm's not falling back. Want to take a further twist from the spine. Good, inhaling, coming back up, soften that knee. As we come up, we reverse to the triangle, so straighten the leg again and a reverse triangle. For a slightly deeper stretch through those side ribs. Come back to center, release, turning those feet just to get ourselves ready to come into goddess pose. So with our legs turning the heels in, toes are going out and really opening up those inner thighs. So really want to engage those muscles, root to the outside, to the pinkies, the baby finger, the baby toes. Bend those knees, so we're really opening up, dropping the tailbone down towards the floor, but rooting up through the pelvic floor, through that root lock. So those deep, deep inner muscles, just so we stay nice and stable. Cactus arms, bring those elbows up, open up the chest, draw the shoulder blades back. If we gaze down, our knees should be heading to the second toe. You may need to adjust your feet slightly just to make sure the knees are comfortable. Bring the hands behind the head as we interlace fingers. Keep drawing through the mid-body, and then take the arm to one side. Keep rooting down, back to center, and to the other side. Back to center, and release. Arms, parallel feet as we straighten the legs. Brings the hands down to the floor. You can soften the knees to get the hands, or if you have a cushion or support block, just put your hands on there and just walk out the legs from side to side. And then we're going to come back to center and start coming up, hands on the hips, start coming all the way up, and let's step back to the top of our mats and we'll get ready to do the other side. So we'll start off with the spinal flow. So interlace those fingers, root down through our feet, Fire Mudra, as we bring the index fingers towards pointing ahead and just rooting down through the base of the palm. Now just take a note where the bottom pinky finger is. I want us to open up the fingers and then replace them so the opposite pinky is at the bottom and the thumb that was at the top is now underneath. So just a little different stretch for the fingers and just get your brain working as it's suddenly thinking, oh, that's not how I usually go. Inhaling up, softening shoulders, exhaling to one side, keep rooting down, and then to the other side. Let's come back to center, right angle pose, hinging from those hips, softening the knees, lengthening that tailbone, reaching forward, lengthening back. Keep the neck nice and long. Let go of the fingers, interlacing them behind the back again. And just take that moment again, notice the pinky finger and maybe just switching it round. So the opposite one is at the bottom and the thumb is underneath. And then close into that yoga mudra as we take a deeper forward bend. Just continue there. Keep rooting down. I suddenly just wanted to get up and walk around the class. And squeeze those shoulder blades together. Again, release the neck, maybe side to side, nodding. And shaking, coming up again as we inhale, root down through those feet, heels. Open up the chest, a gentle back bend, and then release. Let the arms relax for a moment, and this time we're going to step back with the right foot and the left knee is in front of us, bent, a nice bend, and we're on the ball of that back foot in a high lunge, taking those arms up. Again, the movement is from the back leg, front leg is here to support us. On the exhale, dropping that knee down, hovering, and then lifting it up, straightening the leg. No bother with the front leg, it's just supporting us, back knee down, reaching up, keep rooting down through the front leg, exhaling down, and lifting up. And then the final time when we do come down, we're just going to hold here for a few breaths, keep rooting through that back leg, nice stretch in that hip flexor, and then bring the hands down and step back. Good, down dog. Again, walk out the legs if you want to. And either staying here or we'll continue with that flow. Shift the weight forward, bring the knees down, and scoop the chest all the way through into cobra or baby cobra. Tuck the toes under, back to down dog. And then let's bring that left foot through, nice big step through. As we drop the right heel down into 90 degrees for warrior two coming up. A nice bend through the left knee, shoulders relaxed, turn that left palm up as the right hand goes down, the left one over. You can take the right hand around your waist for a deeper bend. And then up we come into triangle. So straighten left leg, reach and drop. Shoulders stack above each other. Not forgetting the outside of that right foot. Top arm doesn't drop back as it's staying locked, it's staying in its socket. And then come up. Soften the knee to bring us up. As we reverse it, straighten that knee again into reverse triangle. For a deeper stretch through those side ribs. And release. We come back to center, letting go of the legs for a moment, turn those toes in, and we'll come back into goddess pose again. So one more time, just opening up those inner thighs, knees are going out, and we start bending the knees and just pushing the knees out a little bit more and straightening through that tailbone. So we've got a nice neutral spine and the core is engaged and we're drawing up through the root lock. Let's take the hands behind the back, interlace fingers. And as you draw the hands down, just let yourself sink that little bit further into the pose. No tension, just let your body go with the flow. Keep engaging, keep pushing those knees out. Good, and relax the arms, the legs, parallel those feet. Hands come down, soften the knees, walk from side to side. We'll come into a side squat. So start bringing yourselves over to your right side. Take the hands across, come onto the ball of that right foot if you need to. Left heel onto the left heel as the toes flex up. So here you may want to have a play with the right foot. Try and get that heel down. Find if I move it a bit and turn it out a bit, it helps me get it down, but just find what works for you. And if your heel doesn't quite come down yet, because you're still quite have tight not hamstrings, your calf muscle, Achilles tendon, then do just stay here with your hands supporting or place a block or a cushion under your heel, and then you can take your hands off the mat. Again, make sure the knee, you're not dropping into that instep. Keep engaging the outside of the leg as well. Flexing that opposite foot. And then release. Hands come down, bring that foot down. Realign those legs and start shifting to the other side. Again, turn those left toes out. Bring yourselves down and take the right toes up. And again, take a moment. This side of mine is a little bit more iffy. I want to keep falling into that instep. So it's just reminding myself to engage back. Energize back to that baby toe, and then hands are here if your heel's on the floor, hands are here if your heel still needs some support as it loosens up. So take your time, no right way or wrong way, just the way that works for you without causing any injuries. And do work with your range of movement. If you have any injuries, make sure you have consulted your doctor before, or a professional, before you take on anything. So come back to center, release the legs, parallel those feet, and a final walk out from side to side. Before we start coming up, hands to the hips, come all the way up. And let's see if we can come into Malasana, our yogic squat. So really good for those tired glutes and legs. If we've been sitting all day, really energizes them, or if we've been sitting all week. So feet are not wider than hip distance apart, and toes might need to go out. So again, you can play with your legs and feet as we start bending and come down into that yogic squat. So just where you need to. If you need support under your heels, you can always roll up your mat, especially if you're at the front of your mat. You can roll the back part of your mat so that then you can just have that support underneath your heels. And you can then bring your hands here. If your heels aren't supported, let's please have the hands on the floor, as I don't want to hear any Achilles tendons popping. So we just want to naturally let the back of the leg lengthen without forcing it. So just having the support of your hands. If heels are on the floor, you can bring your hands to prayer and just place the inside of your arms. Even if your hands are here, you can place the inside of your arms inside your legs and just start straightening the spine a little more, dropping the tailbone a little bit more. Take a few breaths here, relax. If there's any tension in the glutes, in the hip area, just let it relax. So I noticed I was holding on. Just let it go. This is quite an intense pose, so if you do need to come up, take a moment and then come back down. It does get easier the more you do it, and as I mentioned before, it is really good for supporting tired muscles, just re-energizing them from supporting us sitting all day. So just take a few more breaths. Just notice where the weight is. You're fully supported by your feet. And then let's release. Hands on the mat, on the floor, straighten the legs. Take your time. And then just walk them out one at a time. We're going to go for one more round. And just take a nice little stretch, side body stretch whilst we're here. So do come back down. If it is way too much for you, then you can do exactly the same thing, but just stay seated in butterfly with the soles of your feet together. That's more comfortable, so try that instead if this really is not your pose, because I know we all have different, as we know, we all have different bone structures, so just go with what works for you. If we're here, right hand supports us, and again, it's just finding where your hand sits. Mine kind of sits just at an angle from my foot, to then take a little side stretch. So that's supporting me, so I'm staying tall, I'm not falling. And then we take that left arm, reaching it up and over. So staying open, we're not falling forward and we're not falling back. Again, check your weight, keep it going towards that opposite foot, that left foot, so we're not just falling into the right side. Keeping the chest lifted, a little side stretch. And then come back to center. If you need to stand up and come into it again, do that. Take your time as we get ready to switch sides. Left hand supports us. Again, find the place. And then take the right hand up and over for a little stretch here. Keep rooting back into that right side, so you're not just falling into the left. Keep the weight through all of your feet. Good. Let's release and come into down dog. So depending where you are, you may be able to bring the hands forward, step straight into down dog, or go sideways and then come into down dog. Root down through those hands. Take a little moment here, stretching out those legs. Good. Let's take a quick flow whilst we're here, or you can continue in down dog. Let's shift into our high plank of chaturanga. So pushing those heels back, engaging through the top of your body. Always have the choice to bring the knees down first to support you, or you can come into the stronger version, bending the elbows, tip the tailbone up, scoop the chest straight through, baby cobra, full cobra, or even an up dog. Just keep the glutes and shoulders relaxed. And then we'll come into down dog. So we step back, stretch back, take a moment, and then let's take right heel up towards the ceiling, flipping it back into a three-legged dog as we open up those inner thighs. And then bringing it forward again, square the hips, and just step that right foot between the hands. Left knee can come down on the mat, and the toes. And we're going to take the right foot slightly out to the side, so just making a bit of space. You can even turn the right toe slightly out, so we're going to bring the right hand in. And so rooting down through our left hand, let's open up and take the right hand out towards the ceiling. And then release it back down to the mat. We'll stay here into lizard pose, so you can either be here on your hands, or you may be able to come down onto one forearm, or both forearms, as long as that knee's not dropping out, keeping it nice and stable and close to that underarm. And you may want to make it stronger and take the opposite leg, the opposite knee off the mat, come into the full, down that stronger version of the pose, completely up to you. The foot that's in front, right foot, just make sure that the weight is on all of the foot. It's not falling to the outer edge this time. Also coming through to the arches. Coming back up onto our hands if we've been on our forearms. And then release that leg, bring it back to center. We're going to move backwards and forwards, releasing any tension. And then we'll come back to center and just come into pigeon. So outside of that leg just comes to the mat as the knee heads to the right wrist, and we straighten the back leg. So pigeon, if you need some support underneath that right hip, or you can just bring yourselves to the side and bend that left leg just for a slightly more supported version of pigeon. Root down through those hands. And just check the weight of your hips, that you're nice and square, you're not falling to one side or to the other, you're staying nice and long. And relax the shoulders. And then you may come down onto your forearms, take a few moments here, going a little bit deeper, letting go for a little bit more. So we now start turning our energy more inwards. We're slowing ourselves down. Just giving a nod to that time of the year as we transition between summer and autumn. We're just giving ourselves permission to slow down, to let the energy slow down as we start turning more inwards. Getting ready for the hibernation of winter. Just a natural progression. And then let's come back up onto our hands. We're going to tuck the back toe under and come into that three-legged dog again. So tuck the back toe under, a nice counter pose, take it up, and then flip the heel back. Keep the shoulders nice and square, bring that leg down. One stretch and down dog, you may feel the difference in the legs here. And we'll start off back to where we did with the left heel up, flipping it back, three-legged dog. Beginning to do the left side this time. So square the hips and start bringing left foot between the hands as the right knee comes down, toes come down, right hand on the mat. Take the left leg slightly out, even turning those toes so the left hand has space to come in. And we're on the right hand, we take the left hand up for a twist. And then we'll release the hand down, still bringing it to the inside of that left foot. And we can stay in this version of lizard pose. We could come down onto the right arm and maybe even the left, as long as the knee's not falling out. We're keeping it nice and close to us. Again, adjust your foot, see what works. So the knee and ankle are supported and you're rooting down through all of your foot. Again, you can take that back leg, the knee off the mat if you want to make it that bit stronger. And just hold the pose there for a few breaths. And just relax into those hips. Try not to sink too far into them if you are quite hypermobile. May always be worth putting a block or some cushioning just underneath the front of that back leg so you're not overstretching your limbs. And then we'll start getting ready to come back up onto our hands. Bring that left hand to the outside as we bring the left foot in. A gentle rock from forwards and backwards. And then we'll come into that pigeon pose again. So coming back to center. Bring the outside of the leg to the mat as the wrist comes, knee comes to the left wrist. And just take those little adjustments to come into pigeon on the left side. Relax the hips. Relax the shoulders. Take a few breaths. And if you're ready, if you want to take it further, come onto your forearms. And just continue there. Oh, sorry, I'm getting interrupted. And just continue holding in pigeon. Whenever you forget to turn your phone off, is when you put on Do Not Disturb is when someone is definitely going to ring you. So again, adjusting the hips, see if they're nice and square, you're not sinking into either side. Relax. And just think about letting go. Just slowing down. And then starting to come back up onto our hands. If we've been on our forearms, into that three-legged dog, tuck the back toe under, heel of the left foot goes up and flips back. Keep the shoulders square. Into our last down dog here. Just rooting down through the hands, tailbone tilts up. Nice big stretch. Relaxed neck. And then coming down onto our knees. And we're going to sit on the mat for a wide-legged forward fold. So let's take heels together first. Nice and tall through our sit bones, on the tips of our sit bones, taking those legs out. Adjust your pelvis so it's slightly tilting back. Sit on a cushion, just the edge of a cushion or a block, just to give you the length through the front. If you feel you've got a more of a back bending body, you may feel that you're more scrunched up. And again, you can always put the feet on the floor and bend the knees to give you a bit more height, or to just relax those hamstrings. Bring the hands forward. Feet can be flexed or relaxed as long as they're not dropping ankles to either side. Just keeping them nicely supported. And just lengthen that spine. Walking the hands a little bit further ahead. And just take a few breaths here. Letting go of any tension. In the face, just let it relax. The shoulders. Through those hamstrings. Take a few breaths. Two more long breaths, relaxing as you exhale. Breathing in love, breathing out loud. Let's walk those hands back towards us. Taking our time, straightening up, bring those legs in. And then let's just windscreen wiper them. So dropping them from side to side. Good. Let's come back to center. We're going to lie on our backs. Again, a couple of options. So we're going to go for a wide-legged bridge pose. So I want our feet as wide as the mat. If you're on a mat, or if you're not, have the ankles wider than your hips. And again, just engage the inside of your legs so your knees are staying secure. Get those heels as close to you as you can and come and lie down on your back. You're already engaging those legs again, so the knees aren't dropping out. And the hands are either side of you. You may be able to touch your heels. And if this is going to be too much, as we're going to hold it here just for a few breaths, you can do the same in reclining butterfly with the soles of the feet together and the knees just dropping out to the side if you want more of a restorative version. Let's keep rooting down through those legs as we inhale, through the arms, through the shoulders, and then start lifting up the pelvis as we exhale. Shift the weight a little bit more onto your shoulders, just by moving your arms slightly closer together. Again, don't bring the chin right into the chest. You don't want to put any strain on your neck. And just have your head nicely rooted into the mat, into the floor. Keep lifting up the pelvis and rooting down. Let the glutes relax. They will tense up naturally, but not adding your own extra. We're not doing a glute bridge. We're just doing a bridge for the muscles in our back. Keep rooting down. I'm going to hold it here for a minute or so. Really rooting down through those feet. Just notice the connection so the knees don't drop in. And feel the legs engaging, energizing up towards that lower back as we keep it lifted. Root down through the hands, the arms and the shoulders. If it does get too much, you can rather come into that reclining butterfly with the soles of the feet together and just lying back. Just keep lifting and rooting down. And then release. Bring the pelvis back down. Take the arms slightly out. Relax the spine down. Drop the knees in towards each other. Just to release the tension in that lower back. And then bringing the feet slightly closer. Let's bring the knees up. And give ourselves a little rock from side to side. And we come back to center. Let's straighten out both legs. We're going to start bringing the right leg towards us. Bend that right knee and bring the knee towards the chest. You may need to bend your left leg to give you some support for your lower back. And do that if that feels more comfortable. So just see which feels better with the legs straight or slightly bent. We're going for a nice stretch through that lower back as we draw that knee, right knee in towards the chest. You might find you still want to keep the front of the leg as close to your chest as possible. And then you can start just straightening the leg slightly. You're probably not going to be able to straighten the leg all the way because you want to get the front of your leg close to you. So we're going through for a deep glute stretch. And flex the foot so it's facing up towards the ceiling. And maybe grab the back of the leg, keep drawing it, keeping it close to you. So it's not about how straight you get the leg, it's more about how close you can keep the front of the thigh towards your chest, connected to your chest. Remember to bend the opposite leg if you need that support for your back. And then release. Bring that right leg down. Take a moment and get ready to switch legs. So left knee bending, coming up towards your chest. Again, notice how your back feels and if you need the support of the right leg. Take a few breaths here. Try to keep the straight leg quite active so the ankle's not flopping out. It's just staying in center, so the hips are staying square. And then either continue here with the knee bent and the leg bent, or you can, keeping the front of the thigh close to the chest, connected to the chest. You can start lifting the foot up towards the ceiling and maybe straightening the leg a little bit more. And then relax. Again, check if you need the support of the opposite leg. And just hold it there. Hopefully you've been able to hear what I've said whilst I've been mumbling away down here. My mic on my laptop doesn't seem to be that great. Just relaxing. Take a few breaths, really slowing down the energy. Nice long breaths. Really good pose for any lower back pain, superficial pain that you may have. Good, let's release that leg. Bring it down, straightening it down. Just relaxing both legs for a moment. And then we're going to bend the knees. Again, bring the feet slightly in towards us. And we're going to come into a supine spinal twist. Take the arms out to the sides with the palms facing up. Drop the knees to your left. Adjust your shoulders if you need to look to your right. And just relax here for a few moments as we start winding down even more our practice as we get ready to end. Thank you for sticking with it. I know most of my classes are quite long, as I like to give a full class, covering every part of the body. And then bring the trunk of the body back to center with the head, and then bring the knees up. And get ready to switch sides. So drop the knees, still keeping that space. Drop the knees to your right. Adjust your shoulders and look to the left. Nice long breaths. Just relax back down onto the mat. Taking nice long breaths. Very therapeutic for the spine. Low spinal twist. Bring the trunk of the body and the head back to center. Bring the legs back up. Bring the knees up to your chest. One last time. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, squeeze those legs into your abdomen, releasing your spine on the mat. And getting ready to end our practice in Shavasana. So straightening out the legs with space. Take the arms out to the sides, making room. Turn those palms up towards the ceiling and let the shoulders relax down. Lengthen that neck, tuck the chin in slightly, and relax. Let's take a few moments here. We're going to end in Shavasana. If you do want to take a little bit more time, maybe put on a timer or put on some music, because I will leave you and end off the practice, but do carry on for as long as feels good for you. So maybe put me on pause and then come back. And let's start letting go of any last bits of tension, any last lingering thoughts. Letting the body soften and relax. Just feel yourself being gently pulled down towards your mat. Just that little bit more as you relax. A little bit further. Letting the feet just drop out to the sides as they totally relax. Legs feel gently relaxed. Pelvis is relaxed. The belly just gently relaxes back down. Letting your spine relax. With each exhale, just relax that little bit more. Ribs relax, chest relaxes, shoulders are relaxed, arms relax. Feel the heaviness of your fingers as they gently relax. Face is relaxed. A gentle space between your teeth as you relax your jaw. Letting your eyes relax back into their sockets. Letting your forehead relax. Feel your face completely relaxing. Even your skin, just noticing it gently relax. And I will leave you here in Shavasana. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste, love and peace.